Going live, and I am live. Da 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 da. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to watch that video. I like Professor Dave. He's fantastic. I've seen oh, what was it now? Kent Horvin's Whacking Atheist Wednesday, where he has a go at Professor Dave. I don't know. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it does sound good. Morris! Hello there. Hello. Hello, Morris. Hello, Dogwalker. Hello, Angel. Stream Elements bot is running. I don't know what that means. Uh, join the channel. Yep. Fail to join bot. Oh, I don't know what that means either. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah. Wow, Stream Elements bot is running. Not a clue, but there we go. There we go. Anyway, how are we all doing? Yep, Dog Walker's okay. Morris is okay. Angel's good. That chair is doing wonders. Oh, this chair is absolutely fantastic. It is brilliant. It makes such a huge difference. It really does. Hey, Earthly Skeptic's in. How are you doing, Earthly Skeptic? Oh, let me click that on again. What, I've crashed already? Oh no. I've not crashed, have I? Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Earthly Skeptic. Very good, very good, very good. It's not crashed already. It can't have crashed. Am I still alive? Yeah, I'm still alive, apparently. Or have I? No, I'm still alive. Oh, your tablet. Oh, dog walker. Don't get me going. My heart rate is going mental here. Oh, God. Right. One thing I want to do before I start is I'm going to be on for about the next hour or so. Um, do, do, do. I'm going to finish sometime between 8 and quarter past 8 because Mrs. Jones will be coming round after that time. I need to get a shower because I smell like an absolute. What was it that Sean Connery said in Highlander? You smell like a dung heap and you have the manners of a goat. Yes. That's what I smell like. So I want to get a shower before Mrs. Jones comes round, and I want to do the tea. Oh, the chips have arrived. Oh, dog walker is making me hungry. Thank you very much for that, dog walker. Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Totally agree, Angel. Yeah, it is much more tolerable with a good chair. If anybody saw what I had before, that poxy red chair, I mean, you'll understand. And God, it was awful, absolutely awful. So yes, this does make an absolute world of difference. I can't thank Mrs. Jones enough because she's the one who bought it. So, but anyway, one thing I want to say before we get started on the stupid is, well, a couple of things really. Um, Now, I caught the back end of this debate. I've not caught. This is Howard George Stirrup and a new guy I've not seen before called Mark Reed. And he, like I said, I caught the last, what, half hour, 45 minutes of this debate. And Mark Reed is a guy who knows his stuff. And he keeps Howard in check numerous times, or he did when on the bits that I saw. So that's that. Another thing I want to say is I am going to be starting a new channel because the TV licensing video that I did, I think this week, is tanking my channel apparently. So I'm going to start a new YouTube channel, and it's only going to concern TV licensing. If you're not in the UK, If you're here in the UK, to watch or record television as it's being broadcast or watch the BBC iPlayer, you need what we call a television license. My friends think this is a bad idea, and I'll go into more detail with it on my other channel, but look out for that if it's something that you're interested in. Look out for my other channel in the coming weeks. So I should be set up with that. So right, I think that's enough of me chatting away and being a bit of a dipstick. 6 concurrent viewers, 7 viewers now. Flipping-tastic. Right, let's get on with the stupid, shall we? And let me know about the sound quality, etc. as well, please.
Space exploration and flat Earth, and we are starting right now with Howard's opening statement. Thanks so much for being with us, Howard. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, James. And
first time already.
Let's see if we can get my slideshow on and start with the first image, please.
You bet, it's showing.
So Howard's going to start his usual crap, a bit like Kent Ovin does on every single one of his debates. Howard's got a script, and he just follows it to the letter. He's an absolute arse of a man.
Awesome. Well,
awesome.
First of all, I'm not a flat earther, so this is not a debate for me to prove flat Earth. I'm a globe and a space exploration skeptic, because there's lots of evidence that conflicts with what we've been told to believe. So,
how do, Sec Best Bob? I hope you're all right, my friend. Howard is not a globe skeptic at all, because if you're a globe skeptic, you are open to all other ideas, and you're open to all other possibilities. Plus, you're open to the fact that the Earth might just be a globe. But he's convinced that the Earth's not a globe. He's convinced he's, he's correct about everything. And if you're not a flat earther, Howard, why are you wearing flat Earth t-shirts? Why is your Twitter handle @FlatEarthSpain? What a dishonest piece of scum this lad is. Glad to see you here anyway, Second Best Bob. Glad you're here.
That on a globe of 25,000 miles in circumference, or 40,000 kilometers, it's necessary that there be a drop in every direction of roughly 8 inches per mile squared. And as you grow in distance, the drop grows exponentially. I've checked with many.
The sound is Howard. He apparently sits on his mobile phone and does it through his mobile phone. So he's so the sound on his end is a bit echoey.
Mathematicians, there's different formulas, different ways to calculate this, but all of the different methods equal a very similar number. So we shouldn't be able to see 4,000 kilometers away, 443 kilometers away, but we can, as seen on the Guinness Book of Records. Sorry, it is 4 kilometers, yeah. So we can see the Guinness Book of Records example, where we can see 4,000 kilometers away. And then we've got...
Do you know, I can't see that photo right at the very left of that picture, but I'm guessing it's that phenomenon that happens twice a year. I think it's in February and October. It can only be viewed twice a year, this distance. So I think that's what he's on about. But if you can only see it twice a year, then the Earth can't be flat. Because if the Earth was flat, you'd see it all year round, wouldn't you? He's a dishonest dick, he really is. And he didn't take that photo himself. So that's secondary information, Howard. Duh.
My picture that I took myself, which is showing San Juan beach of Alicante, 20 miles away at water level. In the daytime, we can see the buildings from top to bottom. Some of those buildings are less than 80 meters. And the best part is at night time, we can see the street lights along the beachfront. So my question to the audience, and obviously to Mark, is if you would like me to not be skeptical about the dimensions of Earth, can you show me a vertical drop of roughly 5 meters over 5 miles like we would expect? Can you show me a vertical drop of approximately 20 meters over 10 miles like we would expect? Or can you debunk my image by showing me a vertical drop of at least half, what should be 80 meters over 20 miles? I
debunked this already in a video months ago. I think it was last year now. I debunked this crap here, because he thinks he can see Alicante from Benidorm and the street lights. There's another guy who did it in a load more detail, who lives about 3/4 of an hour away from Stirrup, and he did it in a lot more detail. Good evening, Welchie. He did it in a lot more detail, and the street lights that he thinks he can see are not Alicante. Plus, what Howard fails to mention in his opening statement in every single video ever seen is that Alicante is 40 meters above sea level. That's its elevation. And he doesn't take into refraction, and he doesn't take in, I mean, it doesn't say refraction anywhere on that image there. And he's just a dishonest dirk.
Because I've made many observations in many locations, because people say that some parts of the Earth is more curvy than others, like Neil deGrasse Tyson says it's a pear shape, maybe because Mother Nature.
Oh no. He doesn't believe scientists, and he doesn't believe science, but he believes Neil deGrasse Tyson when he says the Earth's shaped like a pear. Oh, got a lot of flirt.
For men and pears for women, I don't know. But yes, seriously, I don't see any vertical drop. Now, I don't expect to see curvature, but I expect to see landscape lost behind or below the horizon. So just to repeat,
but he's been shown this constantly, and I don't know how many times he's been shown this, like boats going over the horizon, but he says, well, they're big waves. What? Shut up, man. And he's showing it right there. Some of them buildings in that photograph, the main photograph there, are hidden by the water. So I don't know what he's doing.
There should be 5 meters over 5 miles, 20 meters over 10 miles, 80 meters over 20 miles. We don't have to go much further than that, because if there's a curve in the water, then it should be over just 1 or 2 miles noticeable, which I don't think it is. So that's my first slide. If we could go to the next one, please, James.
You bet. Showing slide 2.
Yeah, Maurice,
Thank you. So we're told that we're traveling 500,000 miles per hour with the sun around the Milky Way. My problem with that is...
my problem is that the picture that he's got, the heliocentric model, I didn't know the solar system was a vortex, and that's what it appears to be. Come on, Howard. Nobody uses that. The top left image there in his meme there. Nobody uses that as evidence for a solar system or what our solar system looks like. Nobody uses it.
Not only do we still see the same constellations as the Egyptians, the Mayans, and the Aztecs did thousands of years ago, which they've left for us carved in stone, and everything's still in place. There's no disfigurement to any of the constellations. But we can look at it.
What was it before Polaris? It was Thuban, wasn't it? But the North Star before Polaris was Thuban. And in a few thousand years' time, it's going to be another one. I can't remember its name.
More simple. We're told to believe that we're spinning on our axis, evolving the sun, and that the sun's going around the Milky Way. Yet when we make a recording of the stars at night and speed it up, we can see the star trails are going in perfect circles. Now, I can understand that would work for Polaris, the North Star, and even like the Big and Little Dipper that go around the pole star. But as we venture further south, for example, we can see Orion. Now, if we look at the middle image, we can see that not only are we tilted 23.4 degrees, which if you deduct that off 90 degrees leaves 66.6 degrees, the devil's number.
Oh. I could take 34 off 100 and it'll always be 66. What's his point?
Mainly, we're also on the completely other side of the sun in June compared to December, as the middle image shows at the bottom. So we should be looking in a completely different direction. So my question is to Mark and to the audience, why is it that we can still see Orion 6 months later, just at a different time of night? Not only can we still see it, but as the star trail picture shows on the left, we see it crossing the exact same path in the sky, no matter what time.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Look, how red is my face gone? Ah! Howard, I'm going to explain this to you once and once only. The Earth rotates. It doesn't. It rotates on its axis once a day. Are you getting this yet, Howard? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Of year, just at a different time of night. So that doesn't make sense on a globe, which is why myself and many others are skeptical about the globe, because the stars would be completely different, or at least they would cross a different path in the sky. But the
Demon Orb, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Is exactly the same. It's just the time that's different. So that's my point for that slide. If we could go to the next one, please.
You got it. Going to slide 3, showing right now.
Thank you. Now, here I've taken some images from the ESA, the European Space Agency, and they don't match each other, which is kind of ridiculous. And even on their own website, they admit that these images have been enhanced. They're images, they're not photos.
Yes, enhanced, which means you take an image and you enhance it. You make it better. What does he know? Cookies. Lol, this chubby guy laughing saying words, but can you prove any of them? Lol. Cookies. Yes. Over and over and over again. It's been done so many times, it's untrue. Now, I'd like to see if you're a flat earther, Cookies. Where's your evidence for a flat earth? I bet you've got none.
As admitted on the website, but even just looking at the images, some have got clouds, some have got absolutely no clouds. They're all different colours of ocean, they're different colours of continents, and we can clearly see the nighttime pictures show where London, Birmingham, Manchester and Liverpool, all the big cities, are very visible at night, yet in none of the daytime images can we see any sign of London or any other city, even though they appear so big at night time. So I'm not convinced, and no globe skeptic is convinced by these images anymore, because when we go on Google image search, most of them are cartoons. I've been very fair and found the best ones I could to compare them with snow, without snow. There's no sign of city. They're clearly images, as the ESA website clearly states themselves. So as there's no photos of the United Kingdom, there's no photos of Australia, there's just composite images.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 photos there of the United Kingdom.
That have been stitched together from high altitude drone and aircraft pictures, and mostly CGI or just cartoons. which is why the weather reports are always in front of cartoons and never real time or showing us what happened in a storm the day before. So that's my main point for that slide. If we can go to the next one, please, James.
You got it, showing slide 4.
Thank you. Here we can see an image from the Discover satellite, and I insist that anybody that is interested in making their own investigation, please go and check the original video from NASA. It's easy to find on their YouTube channel. And you'll see that the clouds are completely fixed. They've been painted on with Photoshop because the...
Painted on with Photoshop, have they, Howard? And yet I've not seen a video on your channel, not a single video on your channel, where you examine or forensically examine a photo or a video. All you do is just go, oh, it's fake. NASA fakes everything. We don't believe NASA because NASA's a dudes. Oh, cookies, globers are sweating now. Earth looks flat. I bet you wished it looked round. Well, in that particular image there that's on the screen right now, cookies, the Earth looks flipping round to me. As Mrs. Jones once said to me. She said, you look round. Well, Mrs. Jones actually, when I went into her house the first time, she said, do you mind if I look round? And she said, you look round to me, fatty. There's an old joke for you.
Recording is supposedly photos taken over 5 hours, and we see roughly a third rotation, yet none of the clouds move an inch. So that proves that these aren't real clouds, and that this is not a real photo, because 1, the moon is dark, 2, the clouds haven't moved, and also...
The moon is dark, is it? Yeah, it's that dark, I can see it in light. Is he for real?
We just can compare with the Himawari and any other satellite videos. They don't have moving clouds, even over 39 hours. I did an interview with Michael McToon, and we saw that there was no movement in the clouds over 39 hours for the Himawari 8. So yeah, if there's no photos of countries and there's no real videos of the Earth, then it suggests that we're being lied to about space exploration.
Oh,
and
we're
also,
being lied to.
We know that there's infrared and ultraviolet. We hear about ghosts, and we think about thoughts and feelings, memories.
Is he saying ghosts are real? Please tell me. Please tell me, right? He's not saying ghosts are real.
Exist, but not in the physical realm. So there's obviously higher dimensions, as I say, in the electromagnetic spectrum. We can't see everything, we can see very limited. So knowing that there's other things in other electromagnetic waves, like infrared, ultraviolet, if you don't believe in ghosts and things, why aren't we seeing anything from outer space? Why are we just seeing the 3-dimensional shape when there's obviously more dimensions? And also there's these YouTubers like Joe Rogan and people from the Gaia channel and even Mike Tyson that are all promoting psychedelics, which is a pattern I often see. Everyone that's ever done them is very insistent that everyone else tries them, which makes me wonder if the entities that they say they've seen and the shapes and colours that they say they've seen when they're tripping have now opened a door for them to be influenced by them even when they're not high, because they always promote these psychedelics. But my point is, they all have the same kind of story, that the same kind of entities either speak to them or communicate with them, and they see colours that we don't normally see, and they see shapes and geometric patterns that we don't normally perceive. So where are these shapes and colours and entities when we're looking at this image? Why are we just looking at a 3D image when we know Earth is much more than 3D from the science that we're...
You've got an image right in front of him. He's showing an image right now. So what the frickin' hell is he going on about? Is there 4 dimensions? I don't think so. Only in Star Trek. What a goosh.
We can understand even though we can't perceive a 4D cube, we can understand that the 4D cube can exist in another dimension. So my point is, I'm not a flat earther because there are obviously higher dimensions than 3D, and we are just mere humans obsessed with the theory of knowledge, and we like to pretend we know everything. So we're going to argue between a 3D globe or a 2D or a 3D flat earth. No, I believe that Earth is much more than 3D. It could be seventh dimensional, hence the seven heavens that they talk about. So my next image, please, James.
Oh.
You got it. Slide 5, show me right now.
Thank you. Here I'm showing that not only has the Bible got over 200 passages that reference
got absolutely no idea, Angel.
level creation that is not a ball, it's not shooting through space and it lost in direction. It's completely fixed and it's enclosed, hence why they talk about the firmaments. So here I'm not pushing a religious belief, I'm just stating that there's historical books like the Bible and all of the quotes we can see on the screen from the Quran, which
so hang on. So he's not preaching religious belief, but he's got quotes from the Bible and the Quran. Both of them religious scriptures. Right, okay. Yes, Howard, good one. What a freaking goon.
The sun and moon not being, not as we've been told, but rather going around us, that we're geocentric. And also there's a firmament, and the Earth might be either flat or at least a higher dimension, but stationary and enclosed.
So he might
we
be.
also see artifacts from Egypt and many other ancient civilizations depicting the firmament. And these were advanced civilizations that could build things that we didn't know how to build. So we have historical artifacts. We have tools like the astrolabe, which measured, calculated where the sun would be and what season it was coming, based on a geocentric model. We have the sundial, based on a geocentric model, both which work still to today, the sundial and the astrolabe. And we have a sextant, another historical tool, which is used because it needs a flat or at least a level baseline to work out the height of a star or an object. It needs to use triangulation, which wouldn't work on a curved surface. So I'm showing that.
So he's just following what other flirfs are saying now. He's mentioned the sextant here. That's all the flirfs have been saying this year is sextant this, sextant that, can only work on a flat earth, and it's been debunked many times. MC Toon has put out, I think, a $10,000 reward for anybody about sextants and what have you. I mean, he's just following what other people say, and all what he's showing here is second-hand information, which is something that Howard tells us not to trust. He says this. He says it all the time. Don't trust second-hand information, but here's a quote from the Bible saying the earth has got a firmament or something. What a douche canoe, to quote Creaky Blinder.
There's three tools. Many ancient cultures have left depictions of a firmament and an enclosed system, geocentric, and the historical books, which talk about the same.
No, the 666 dimensions.
My question to the audience and Mark is, are there any historical artifacts, books, or tools that would support the idea that Earth is a globe? I think
all
not.
Of them.
But please try to prove me wrong. Thank you, James.
Sextant.
Thank you for that opening statement, and we're going to kick it over to Mark. Thanks so much for waiting, and thanks so much for your opening statement. Want to let you know, folks, if it's your first time here at Modern Day Debate,
how you doing, Doug?
Platform hosting debates on science, religion, and politics. We hope you feel welcome no matter what walk of life you were from. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as we have many more juicy debates coming up in the future. And with that, thanks, Mark. The floor is all yours for your opening statement as well.
Don't get me don't get me started on the trans sports debate. Don't get me started on that. Right, cookies. See, the thing is, globe earthers will do anything to prove the Earth is round. No, not anything. It is. We know it is. So we don't know if that place is what you say it is. That the distance is what you say it is. That is our boat at all. Right, cookies. My advice to you would be go out and measure the frigger. Go out and walk around it, and then measure it. Simple as. You can do it. You can calculate the height of a mountain just by standing on the ground. Calculate the height of a mountain. Go to the top of a mountain. You can calculate the radius of the Earth, and that way, if you do that in different parts of the Earth, and the radius is the same, then the Earth can only be a sphere, can't it? It's dead easy to do. Piss off and do it. I'm all joking. Stay and watch this.
You're on mute.
Always happens at least once. Okay, good evening or good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, James. I will have to share my screen. And thank you to Howard for being my interlocutor for this one. Just let me get prepared. Why not? Yes, and then screen.
Cookies, you do know it's Friday. Maybe it's Wednesday on flat Earth, but here on this globe that we all live on, it's Friday. All right, I'm just pointing it out. Just pointing it out. All right. Just, you know.
In the meantime, I want to remind you folks that our guests are linked in the description. If you'd like to hear more from either Mark or Howard, you certainly can by clicking on the links below. And thanks, Howard, or I should say Mark, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody for joining me for this debate, space exploration and the globe model. Now, first off, I want to sort of talk about what a scientific model is. A scientific model is a representation of an empirical phenomenon, events, or physical processes. So it's a description of reality, basically. We don't seem to have absolutely perfect models. They don't seem to exist, at least not yet. We are always learning new things and updating our models to be in line with what we currently know. This doesn't make the model useless or even inaccurate. What it means is that we just
Cookies, I suggest that you watch this opening statement. It might change your mind if you're not trolling. All right, I'm just saying. By the way, it's Friday, not Wednesday.
More and more knowledge to the model. Take the model of the anatomy of humans. There's more and more we learn about our bodies and how they work, and we update our model of what we know with the new things that we learn. So the other question is, what makes a model useful or true? A model is shown to be true when it has the ability to explain past observations and this is the important part, has the ability to predict future events. The accurate prediction of future events is what gives us confidence that a model accurately shows what is empirically true. Failed predictions cause us to lose confidence in the model. Models like in medicine, the humors system of the 4 humors, that was dropped because the predictions that we made weren't in line with what was happening. Examples of models are an economic model. It's accurate when it can predict future market trends, or a geological model, which is accurate when it can predict when certain rock types are going to be found, or that when somebody predicts where oil is going to be
Thanks
found.
for popping in, Doug. Don't go overboard on that Vimto now.
That's how we know that the model is accurate and is true. Now, what predictions has the globe and cosmological model made? The existence of Neptune, it was predicted before it was found. It was predicted based upon Newton's laws, quite famously. Background microwave radiation, this was predicted and then found by people who weren't even looking for it. In fact, they were trying to get rid of the sound of the radiation and didn't realize what they'd found. That was 100% predicted before it was found. Prediction of comets coming back. we can predict to a very high accuracy when comets will enter and come back towards the Earth so people can see them in the sky. Same with meteor showers. You can predict when those showers will happen to a great frequency, and usually on the news they will present when it's actually happening so you can view it. And the eclipses, I will get back to that. I want to just put that one there. I'll talk more about that later, but that's a big one. And those are just a few of the things that can be predicted. Now, I don't want to inundate Howard with a ton of things. So there's three things that I want to touch on that I really want to focus on. And the first is the circumpolar stars. Now, this is the northern hemisphere, sort of where Howard is. And do you notice it goes in sort of an anti-clockwise direction? And I'll show that here. It's going that way. So this anti-clockwise direction will always be seen from the northern hemisphere. And if you give it a sec, it'll switch to the south. Now, this is Australia, where I am. And you see it's going in a clockwise direction, the opposite way. And there's a very good reason for that. You'll never see this direction coming from the higher up in the north. And there's a very good reason. I'll explain that now. One second. There we go. So this is from a person in the northern hemisphere here. He's seeing the stars rotating around the north celestial pole, but you won't see the stars rotating about the south circumpolar, the circumpolar star south, because the globe is blocking his view. So something like the Southern Cross, Howard will never see it from where he is in England because the globe is blocking his view of the Southern Cross. Whereas me in Australia, I will never see Polaris up here because the globe is blocking my view.
Cookies, do you have a YouTube channel? Are you a YouTubist? Because if you are, I'd like to take a look at your YouTube channel and debunk the hell of a living crap out of it.
Now, this is from the southern hemisphere perspective, and I want to look at it from this perspective. It explains why somebody in Africa, in Australia, and South America all see the same stars that the northern hemisphere people or the higher latitudes in the northern hemisphere won't see. And they will all see the same stars in the same constellations, all rotating around a central point. And that's how they see it, while the northern doesn't. Now, let's take an example of a possible alternative. Now, I do concede that this is not necessarily Howard's model, but let's take this flat possible model. How do they see the same stars? If you look south from Australia, south from South America, and south from Africa, you all see the same constellations. And how is that possible? All rotating around a central point. Here's another possible globe model replacement. Again, you have the same problem. If you look south from Australia, you're up here. If you look south from Africa, you're down here. Yet they're all still rotating around the same axis. This would be the problem of a flat Earth of the models that I've described.
So the stupidity requirement, this is cookies this, the stupidity requirement to think that the Earth is round is much higher than the little bit of IQ to know that it's not. So you admit, if you're a flat earther, that you don't have much of an IQ. That explains a lot.
You would have to have multiple circumpolar stars all rotating south of each of these continents, and that's not what we see. So, ships over the edge of the Earth? No, this ship isn't sunk. It's just behind the edge of the horizon. This can be seen. I live on the coast. I've seen multiple ships go over the horizon like this. It's very, very common. Again, another ship over the horizon. And so why do we not see the bottom while we still see the top? And I'll show you why that is. So this is a buoy observed from almost sea level, and you can see the wind farm in the background. See how some of the blades have been cut off. You can't see very much of them at all. Now, this photo is from 50 meters extra distance and 25 meters.
Howard's excuses for why the blades are cutting into the water like that. Perspective. Typical, really.
Up. You can now see all of the blades and a lot more of these wind turbines, while you can see way past the void. The question is going to be, why can you see more of these turbines when you're further away? That just doesn't seem to make any sense on any other model. Now, I can describe that on the globe model. As you go up, what you can do is see more of the object. This even works when you go further
Don't
away.
throw your bra anywhere. Don't throw it anywhere, because you might get done for indecent exposure.
And further up, you can still see more of the object. Less than before, but more of the object. The globe perfectly explains why we see this phenomenon, and there's no reason why it wouldn't work like this. And my question is to Howard is how is that possible if there is a flat plane there? Now, these are examples of a blood moon, and these look awesome. They've got a really, really nasty red color, and they appear in the sky at certain times. And I'd like to know how these work in Howard's model that he's proposing, or not any alternative model, really. In the globe model, it's explained as such. You have the light coming here. Now, what happens is it goes through the atmosphere.
Yeah,
and
nothing wrong with boobs. Absolutely nothing wrong with boobs. I love boobs. Mrs. Jones has a plentiful, ample amount of boobage. Wonderful. Whoops, went a bit too far.
It's a total lunar eclipse, so the Earth is perfectly in between the sun and the moon. So the light comes in and it's scattered by the atmosphere. Exactly the same phenomenon that we see by the setting of the sun and the rising of the sun, how it's red. It's exactly the same phenomenon. That light gets cast upon the sun, the moon, sorry, I beg your pardon, and it makes it seem red. And it also bends passing through the atmosphere, affected by the laws of gravity and the particles. So the same phenomenon as refraction we have on the Earth, we see it refract going around the Earth as it passes through the atmosphere, especially if it's very hot. So the lunar eclipse, and these are partial lunar eclipses, they're always curved. Every single time we see a lunar...
Hey, cookies, did you know that if you turn the word gullible upside down, it actually spells the word cookies? There's another interesting fact for you. Wednesday wisdom.
Eclipse, the curvature of the shadow which the Earth is casting is always curved from any direction, any angle. Now, the only object that can be curved from any direction, any angle, is a ball, a sphere, or in this case, an oblate spheroid. And my challenge to Howard is, why are these always curved? Why do we never see anything, well, like this? Or why do we never see anything like this? And the odd thing about eclipses is we can predict when they're happening to a surprising degree. You can look up years and years of advances in eclipses. How would we be able to do this if the model doesn't work? Because the model does work. We can predict these things very accurately. Now, as for spaceflight, I just want to point out that there's 77 government space agencies, 20 private companies, hundreds of companies in equipment, manufacture, components, servicing these companies. The industry is worth over 370.
Cookies, did you know that it's easier to jump over you than to go around you? No, because I'm as wide as I am tall. So, there you go. It's funny that when you're fat.
Billion. There's probably over 1 million employees involved worldwide with these companies. It's ridiculous to me.
Turtle moves. The word gullible is in the dictionary. Oh, wait. I see what you did there.
All of these people are somehow lying or making this stuff up. It just doesn't make any sense.
My amazeballs
I want to point out Starlink, and just think about Starlink. See the transceiver here. It's a signal sending and receiving device. It's always pointed up.
I just said amazeballs, didn't I? Oh, for goodness sake. It's that Cookie's putting me off, you know. Cookies, shut your gob, will you?
I would like to know why it's pointed up, why it's pointed at the sky, why it has a system inside of it to autonomously track the satellites in orbit. Now, there's over 2,000 satellites in orbit. They service 29 countries with internet service, satellite internet service. There's a massive controversy on space debris at the moment. There's anger from China because they think that SpaceX, who do it, are cluttering up space. And this is a picture of the spaceship that
Lauren, send me a super chat.
took a payload of these satellites up into orbit, and there's multiple pictures of them that you can see. So as for space flight, I just don't know how they would deliver Starlink without a satellite system around the Earth. And perhaps Howard can tell us.
Well played, Roger.
I think
Well played.
I'll leave it there, and thank you so much for indulging me. And I'll kick it back to James for what he wants to do. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mark, for that opening.
Does a good opening statement, does young Mark there. Does a really good one. Yes, Cookies, the Earth is about as flat as my stomach. Smug Luke.
Statement as well, and want to let you know, folks, if you are new to Modern Day Debate, we are a neutral platform hosting debates on science, religion, and politics. We hope you feel welcome no matter what walk of life you are from. And also, want to say, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as we have many more juicy debates coming up in the future. You don't want to miss them. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as well. And with that, we're going to kick it into open discussion. So gentlemen, if it gets too wild, we'll cut it into 2-minute intervals for your responses. Otherwise, thanks so much.
I'm going to watch that transport debate, I think, because I'd love to know how you're going to defend that. How men who were born men, grew up as men, take some hormone replacement therapy for about a year, call themselves a woman, can possibly compete fairly in women's sports. Doesn't work. Sorry, it doesn't.
Floor is all yours for open dialogue.
Thank you so much, James. There's no reason it has to be wild, although I do want to just touch on how the debate isn't really about ghosts or the Bible or just any of this other stuff.
Well, let Cookies go, as long as they don't say something hateful or anything that could get banned or what have you. Just Cookies, the IQ of a hummingbird. If you think the Earth is flat and you're not trolling, you have the IQ of a hummingbird. Just saying. Anyway, let Cookies go and let her dig her own grave and etc. etc. What I do, with people like Cookies and their ilk, is I'll just let them go on, dig their own hole, and soon enough they'll dig it deep enough that they can't get out of it. Just me.
That you sort of brought up. I find it kind of weird that you sort of bring up why we don't see into more than 3 dimensions. I mean, do you usually see in more than 3 dimensions day to day, or I don't understand why that would be something we expect.
Am I echoey? I'm not echoey, am I? Yeah, it is an insult to hummingbird. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Even hummingbirds know that the Earth is round.
You're on mute, Howard. I think you've got your microphone on mute, mate.
Thanks. We've got tools so we can measure that there are things in infrared, there are things in the delta, and there's the ultraviolet. So even though we can't see them, we have tools that can measure these things. So when we're
Cookies, I'm the one that made the stream. Dogwalker is watching it along with you. Friday Wisdom. Hashtag Friday Wisdom.
Earth from outside, we should have the tools.
Yeah, I think it's when I listened to it earlier on. Hold on, it was echoey, even through my earphones. It was echoey. It's just this video. I'm afraid. I'm sorry about that. Really sorry about that.
See what else is there that we can't see.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Epic's got multiple different camera systems that can take infrared and ultraviolet and a few other different types of picture. I'm not sure why you're sort of unaware. I mean, you can even look up a weather map, like taken from the weather satellites, with infrared tracking of the clouds and pressure systems across the Earth. So I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know why you would expect to see them on the same photo as an ordinary, photo image.
Well, if we could start from number one, what I was hoping is we could go through my points.
What's number one?
And then afterwards we can go through your points.
Oh, sure.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Why, Howard, you dishonest little turd. Why does Mark have to go through all your points and then go on to his points? Why can't you do it in turn? Like, do one of your points, Howard, and then do one of Mark's points. It's, that's a fair way of doing things. Oh, he's so dishonest and creepy. It's untrue.
Number one was... I'm sorry. Yeah.
Number one was that we can see too far, thanks to the Guinness Book of Records.
Oh, yes.
Which is the solid doors. We can see really too far. And everybody that comes to Benidorm can see street lights 20 miles away. So
less than 18 miles away. I've done this. I've actually done this. Yeah, same here, Maurice. I've got about 15 minutes.
Under 80 meters tall. Yet we see the street lights along the beachfront 20 miles away when looking at from Benidorm at water level under the cable ski. So we're clearly within 50 centimeters from the water, and we can see the street lights all night, every night, as long as it's clear. Because if it's atmospheric conditions, then maybe we can't see very far. But when it's a clear day, we can clearly see that there's not even what's a street light? 12 meters. So say 15 meters with the being a little bit higher than the water. So we can see that there's not even.
George, how are you doing, George? Hope you're all right, my friend. If the Earth was flat, it would be in the Guinness Book of Records. Yeah, it would. Definitely. Oh, cripey, what have I done? There we go.
15 meters of vertical drop from Benidorm to San Juan Alicante. Or we can go to Denia and see.
How tall did he say the street lights were? 20 meters? 20 meter tall street lights? Well, the ones outside my house are, no more than 5 or 6 meters. Crikey.
Island of Ibiza, which is supposed to be...
Yeah, I think you're moving subjects a bit fast here, if you'll just let me get a word in. You said that you went to many mathematicians. I'd like to know who they are and whether they told you the Earth was flat, because it doesn't sound like you've quoted who you've gone to. The image that you brought up was the Guinness Book of Records to the longest line of sight, not the longest line of sight at sea level. And even put the mountains in there to show that it wasn't at sea level. With your measurements or your sort of eyeballing it I don't know where this place is, but you've got street lights that you're roughly estimating the height of. You've got basically, you don't know the elevation of that land at that height, because you haven't given me any elevation. You might be looking upwards rather than across a flat plain. Right?
We're looking across water.
Right, but the lights aren't obviously in water.
No, they're along the beachfronts, so they're about 15 meters above water level. I've been there myself. You can look on Google Images.
The problem is that you haven't made any kind of measurements or any kind of, like, what you would do if you're looking to prove this is the case is take some actual measurements and not just eyeball it. Because while we can look at things and say, hey, that looks like it will fit there, and that microwave looks like it will fit in that space, which I've done myself, and unless you measure it, you can be very, very wrong about that. Just looking at things is not a very good way to empirically determine what you are looking at is correct.
If I may, I do know the measurements of the tallest building in San Juan Alicante. It's on Google. Everyone can check this. The tallest building in San Juan Alicante.
I do know it. It's on Google. So he's not actually measured it himself. He just says, I do know it because it's on Google. You know, Google's a great tool for finding things out, and it really is. But to be absolutely sure, you've got to measure the things yourself. Cookies, how are you defending this imbecilic arsewipe? I will never know. Perhaps you fancy him, Cookies. Do you fancy a bit of Howard in your meat sandwich?
Is 96 meters. Now we can see even the small buildings all the way down to the bottom, and don't forget we can see the street lights along the beach promenade, which are clearly much less.
Hang on, I'm going to use my Echo Dot here. Alexa, what shape is the Earth?
The shape of the Earth resembles a sphere, one that has been compressed at the poles and bulges outwards at the equator.
Thanks, bitch. There we go. Cookies, I hope you're convinced.
80 meters from sea level. There should be 80 meters of vertical drop. And if I may quickly, Ibiza, if you want a measurement, the highest point of Ibiza's mountain is 475 meters from sea level. Yet we can see the whole island right down to the port of Ibiza from Denia on a clear day. Yet there's supposed to be 2,000 meters of vertical drop from where I am in the peninsula of Spain to Ibiza. There should be 2,000 meters drop. Yet we can see that there's not, because we can see the whole mountain right down to the port.
Clear hot day, did you take into account refraction?
It doesn't matter where.
No,
Please don't make assumptions, Mark. I'm trying to answer you. I have made many observations at many different times.
But it was a simple yes or no question, wasn't it? Did you take into account refraction? And here is Howard, and he's going to go off on a stupid bloody tangent here now. Alexa, turn the light on. Thanks, bitch.
Many different times of the year, it doesn't matter where the light source is, doesn't matter where the sun is, doesn't matter which distance you look, there is always no vertical, there's never any landscape or objects hidden behind or below the curvature that we're told to believe in.
So you...
He's just asked, did you take into account the refraction? What the freaking hell is he going on about objects hiding behind other objects for? Cookies, if you're still watching, this is a perfect lesson on how to deflect. This is a typical tactic used by flirts, used by globe skeptics, used by conspiratards and young earth creationists. So, Cookies, if you're ever caught in a debate with a true globe earther, then use deflection as a tactic when you don't know anything. It works. Said no one ever.
Say that, but we don't have any measurements, any clear measurements, just rough approximations from yourself. We don't have any photos, any kind of evidence coming up from you. What I'd like to do is tie it back to the boy photos that I had and ask you why it is that when you get further away, then at a higher elevation, you can see more of the wind turbines and not less. If it's a flat plane, what you would expect if you increase the distance and then elevate, you should see less.
Cookies, I didn't say you were deflecting. Hashtag Wednesday Wisdom. I didn't say you were deflecting. I said if you ever get caught in a debate, then use deflection as a tool, because just in case you get stuck, just in case you get cornered, just like Howard here. He's got cornered. He was asked what refraction, did he take refraction into account? And he just went off on another tangent. He deflected. So Cookies, there's your technique, deflection. It is your friend. It is the friend of every flat earther ever caught in a debate, and it is the friend of every young earth creationist.
Before we go on to your point,
bit of Friday wisdom for you, seeing as it's Friday.
I've got an answer.
Well, no, I'd like to cover this. I'd like to cover this. So, no. We're not going to take up all the time with your points.
And I see you agree with me, Cookies, so well done.
So, if you could answer me that.
Sure. Which one was that? It's the laws of perspective, which you all know. As you get higher, you can see further. And
That's not
obviously
perspective.
things like waves that are closer might appear bigger than the things that are further behind them. This is standard law of perspective. We all should know that. And
So waves in front of you will appear bigger than objects behind. Well, obviously, but if there's a massive mountain and the waves are right up to you, the mountain's going to appear bigger. So how does perspective work then? What a gibbon.
conditions, which is why we call it the vanishing point, because things at the horizon get compressed more than things above the horizon or things below the horizon. This is simple laws of perspective.
Okay, so why
that's in art class would know this.
Why, if it's completely flat, if you get higher, why do you see further? If you're getting further away from the object, why is that?
It's the laws of I didn't
yeah,
say
the laws of perspective don't cover that. I mean, you're basically saying things at the horizon get more compressed.
No matter
So
what.
if I go high enough, I'll be able to see the edge of our magic space pizza. But nobody's ever done it. That's according to his laws of perspective. The higher I go, I'll be able to see the edge of the Earth. And nobody's ever done it, because there is no edge on a sphere. On flat Earth, there's an edge.
It's the compression.
No matter what shape the surface is, when you get higher, you can see further, either on a flat surface or a curved surface.
No, that's not true.
Further. Yes, it is. Everyone knows that. You're the only person that's ever disagreed with that.
But you're basically saying that the amount that you see is all given by, like, you can.
But cookies, don't use. I hate the word proof, and I hate the word prove. Show evidence for your assertion. I'm not asking you to prove it. Just show evidence of your assertion. If you think the Earth is flat, then give us some evidence. You don't have to post a link or anything. Just say, right, all right, here's one for your cookies. What's the number one proof or the number one piece of evidence that convinces you that the Earth is flat? Number one piece of evidence, whatever it is. There you go. Done.
See,
totally agree, Angel.
Way more than 25 meters of those wind turbines, and you're saying that's all elevation. That's ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous to say that ships go over the horizon, but then when I show landscape, like streetlights, buildings, or a whole island, oh, that hasn't gone over the horizon.
Then how do you explain those ships over the horizon? They've been cut off from the bottom. How do you explain that?
They're on the horizon, so they're getting compressed more than
half
the top
of them.
Of the boat. Or
half of them are getting compressed. There's no compression. They're half cut off.
I don't want to talk over each other, otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. No. Fair enough. 2 minutes.
Let me get a word.
Fair enough.
So my point is, the bottom of the boat is closer to the horizon than the top of the boat, or the bottom of the wind turbine is closer to the horizon than the top of the wind turbine. So it gets more compressed.
So to be a proper flat earther, according to cookies, just have a higher than average intelligence is a moot point. You must believe that the Earth is flat. It's that simple. So to be a proper flat earther, just having higher than well, it's a good job that because you admitted earlier on that your high IQ level isn't very high. And you must believe that the Earth is flat. It's that simple. Well, I believe in Father Christmas. I believe a fat man dressed in a red suit with a dirty white beard pops down my chimney every year, once a day, and leaves me some presents and eats my mince pies. That's what I believe. Doesn't make it true, does it? I believe in Jesus. Doesn't make it true, does it? I don't believe in Jesus, by the way.
Vanishing points. And waves in the ocean that are closer will appear bigger. Like if I show my hand now, this hand looks like it's smaller, doesn't it? It's not smaller, Mark. You know it's the same size.
Yeah, but half of it hasn't been cut off.
Called the law of perspective. Now, if you put this on the horizon, not only does it look smaller than the wave that's in front of it, it's also getting compressed as well as being further away. So obviously, what you've shown are visual optical effects. And my point is, if you'd taken the measurements until the boat, or if you'd given the measurements until the wind turbine, we could all see that we shouldn't even see them at all. But we can't.
No, but when you
It's not.
Yeah, if I could just get a word in, you've been speaking for a while now. Like when you show further away, yeah, it gets smaller, yes, but where is it being cut off? It doesn't move upwards as it gets further away unless it is vanishing behind the horizon, and it doesn't get compressed. You see no compression at the bottom at all in any of the photos. What you're referring to just does not exist because there is no compression there, and anybody can see it. I live near the ocean, I can see it, and basically you've just made up compression because you want to excuse that the bottom of the boat has been completely cut off. I mean, would you like me to show the photos again and you can tell me where the compression is?
I'd like you to admit that the ocean has waves and that some of those waves will appear bigger than what is much further behind, and what's getting compressed because it's further away and close to the horizon will be hidden by the wave that's closer to you. Yes?
You must be joking. That is not what is happening at all. And they've done this on flat lakes as well, so that's absolutely ridiculous. I've seen footage from flat lakes where they've taken a helicopter and gone and then dropped the helicopter and it vanishes behind the apparent horizon. There's no compression there. Saying compression is like saying there's a magic pixie there doing it. There's no compression.
Mark, what you're talking about was actually debunked, and so was the Discovery Channel. Yes, it was, because that was only 7 miles. And I'm showing you a photo of 20 miles, and I can show you a video where the streetlights are 20 miles away, which is much more than 7 miles. That was faked, and so was the National Geographic one, where they had a flag, and they went away, but the horizon was above the flag. So they faked footage to try.
Oh, they faked it. All right, but Howard, you haven't provided any measurements. You've just gone, oh, it's 20 miles away. How did you measure this? You don't say. So... you're talking bollocks. Just like cookies.
Convince people like yourself
Yeah,
not to.
I mean,
Bit of Friday wisdom for you.
You say that, but none of that has not been debunked in the slightest. That's just a hollow, shallow, empty claim of debunking. It's just ridiculous.
You can use whatever names against me you want and try and be derogatory, but
I didn't say anything. I said that the claim is not debunked and it's a hollow claim from you that it is.
We're going to have to go in 2-minute intervals just to make sure that it's not too rowdy.
Okay.
Can I go first? My point is, Mark, you haven't given any measurements, yet you're saying that I haven't. I've just told you the measurement of the tallest building in Alicante. I've told you the tallest mountain in Ibiza. I've told you the distances. So please don't use reverse psychology. You're the one that isn't giving distances, and you're the one that isn't giving.
And you've never measured one of them for yourself. You're believing in secondary information, Howard, because you've never, ever measured them yourself, you dipstick. Right, 10 more minutes and then I'm off.
So please don't use reverse psychology to discredit me when you're the one that's not giving sizes and distances.
Is that it? Your 2 minutes?
Oh, I don't need 2 minutes. It's simple. You haven't given sizes. I have.
Okay, well, I gave like the distances that boy camera was taken away and then elevated, and I have given distances, and people have measured distances. You just say, hey, it's been debunked. And
Cookies, you're trolling now. You are trolling. Flat Earth is growing in popularity thanks to the rise of flat screen television and computer monitors. You don't think the Earth is flat. So, you know, it's been fun. It's been fun. Yes, I did get triggered on some occasions, Cookies. I will admit that.
All. There's nothing that you've said that has any kind of scientific...
Jim, how are you doing, my friend?
Empirical measurements to it. You've just said, hey, this is that. I can see from here. It's an argument from personal...
Cookies, it's Mr. Jones to you. Got it, my friend? Mr. Jones. Bit of Friday wisdom for you.
Now, I want to move on to the constellations, and especially one...
Please, can I just get one thing in? I did give measurements of the distance.
2 minutes.
But before we change points...
Yeah, Cookies are for you. Yeah, definitely.
Is Mark, are you good with your...
Yeah, go for it.
Mr. Jones.
Not only have I given the
Mr.
height
J,
of the
Mr.
objects
Jones.
and the distance from them, I've also said that
Get
there's
it right,
supposed to
you
be 8
godless
inches
spin.
of vertical drop per mile squared. Until 2,000 miles, that's accurate. And there's many other calculations, but whatever calculation your mathematics or my mathematicians that asked aren't flat earthers, by the way, they were total normal mathematician groups on Facebook, in Spanish and in English. I've confirmed many different calculations I can dig out. My point is, are you denying that there should be 5 meters vertical drop over 5 miles? That there should be 20 meters vertical drop over 10 miles? Are you denying that there should be approximately 80 meters over 20 miles?
Well, hang on. Drop isn't the same as curve, is it? Or am I sounding thick? I don't think I'm. Vertical drop? No. He's talking about vertical drop. That's not the same as Earth curve. Not the same at all.
I've done the math with other mathematicians. I've now presented the math multiple times, yet you're accusing me of not being scientific when my main point is I have made primary observations and they are reproducible. You are coming here.
Cookies, nobody's taking you seriously now. Sorry. But, you keep typing. We'll play along with you. We'll play along. All righty. Miss Cookies. Sorry. Bit of Friday wisdom.
Secondary information that you believe in. Because
gradual
if you
curves,
made
it's
your
not
own
vertical drop.
observations with measurements of the height and distance from what
That's
should be
vertical.
lost, then you wouldn't be sat there so smug. You would be like, wow, maybe we are being lied to about the dimensions of Earth because we can see way too far. Check for yourself. Stop using secondary information and trying to turn it around when you're the one that hasn't provided sizes and distances, please.
Yeah, so
Stop using secondary information, says the man who quoted the Bible and the Quran and said that the stone tablets from thousands of years ago were telling the truth. Right, okay, yeah, whatever.
Just now insulting me. So you're just turning around and insulting me. Excuse me, this is my time, Howard. Can you please? So I don't believe that you've accurately measured this building. I don't think you've provided any kind of elevation for the ground the building is on. What I think of that you've just decided that's the size of the building, and you've just been a child for a start, and you've just basically said, "Hey, this is the height I think it should be," without any kind of. Where's your measurements? Where are they? Where's your? Hey, can I please finish? Can I please finish?
Where's your measurements? Google. We can all go on Google. Where's his measurements? His own measurements. Google.
What you've done is Googled the size of the building and said, hey, this is how much I reckon I can see. This is the distance that I reckon.
Alexa, is Cookies a Paul?
Here's something I found on the web. According to L.com, these things don't fall under the traditional definition of poor at all.
I didn't ask that. Alexa, shut up. Alexa, stop. Bitch.
I should be able to see, and then said, "Oh, that's my empirical measurement of this building," without knowing, "Hey, what's the altitude of the land it's on? How much
exactly does. He's not
refraction
done
is
any
there on a
measurements for
day?"
himself.
You just don't care. You just don't care about what doing things in an empirical manner or using a model that actually works. Now, I think we should get on to the next point.
Imagination runs supreme. Yeah, and you've only got to listen to a flat earther for that. Anyway, Maurice, take care, my friend, and have a good time at work.
Constellations and the circumpolar stars. I think we should address why you can't see the Southern Cross from England, or you're in Spain, you might be able to see something from that latitude, but why, if you go above a certain latitude, you cannot see the Southern Cross, and when you go below a certain latitude in the Southern Hemisphere, you can't see Polaris, and why in the North and South Hemisphere do you see the same constellations rotating, and how does it work on your model? You need to present that.
Sure thing, but because you've just made a claim against me that's not true, I'm going to answer you. I am skeptical, and I went on national Spanish television and I offered 10,000 euros of my own money for people to present the evidence that I can't find myself, even though I've made multiple observations. I offered €10,000 for half of the expected curvature over any distance.
And 2 people completed your challenge and you refused to pay up. It's difficult, Howard, to win a challenge, right, when you are the only one who's judging the challenge and judging the validity of the evidence that's been provided to you. Difficult to win a challenge, isn't it? It's like me saying, right, I've got this raffle here, I've got this television here, I'm going to raffle this television off, but I'm the only one who's going to buy a ticket. It's exactly like that. I'm the only one who's going to buy a ticket to raffle that television off. Hey, that reminds me, by the way, it's Eczema Awareness Week, so I'm selling scratch cards after.
So please don't talk to me about an open source investigation when you're relying on secondary information. I'm making primary observations, and I've even offered money for people to compare evidence and prove me wrong with at least half of the expected curvature. Nobody could provide evidence. So take that back and then go and do your own observations before you accuse people of reckoning things. I've been making an open source investigation, offering money. Nobody's been able to prove me wrong. So I'm here giving you an opportunity, and you haven't been able to do so. So let's move on. Yeah, that's fine. You want to talk about the star trails? Which part did you want to talk about?
I went over it.
Right, it's 8:15 now, so I'm gonna. I know Howard is triggered. He gets even more triggered later on, so I think we'll come back to this next Friday, 7 p.m. Open source. Yeah, he is very, very triggered, is Howard, and he gets even worse. The goon. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming, especially Cookies. You've brightened my evening, I must admit. Even though you called me fat earlier on, you did brighten my evening. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So thanks everybody for coming. Thanks Doug, my good friend Doug. Thanks Angel. Thanks Cookies. Thanks Turtle Moves. Dog Walker. Morris. Thanks for coming. Doopy-doo. Who else? Let's go. Thanks Hold On for popping in. Thank you to where are we? Oh God, there must be others. Morris, yeah, I've thanked. Hold On, I've thanked. Angel, I've thanked. Dog Walker, I've thanked. There must be others. George, thanks very much for popping in as well. I've seen you. Where are we going? Angel, yes, I've just thanked. Doopy-doo. There we go. Thanks to my lovely daughter Lauren for popping in as well. George, yeah. Second best Bob, he popped in as well. Thank you so much for popping in. Let's go. Charlie Welch, thanks for popping in, my friend, my good friend, Charlie Welch, sir. Great guy. Let me see. Everybody. Morris, yeah, I've thanked everybody, I think. If I've missed you out, I am very, very sorry. John McGeever, pop in next week. John McGeever, pop in. Next Friday, every Friday at 7 p.m. Subscribe to his channel as well. Cookies, yeah, it was fun tossing you guys around. It was very, very fun, Cookies, of you tossing me around. Thank you so much. It's normally something I pay Mrs. Jones for, but thank you anyway. Good night. Yep, even the poor Cookies. Yeah. So thanks everybody. Thanks for popping in. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget Patreon, etc. Links in the description below and all the rest of it. Thank you all so much. I love you all to death, and ta-ra for a bit. Ooh.